Corsair did a sneaky on you.
You're gonna want to change your mobile carrier.
And AMD might make sense now. What's
Allegedly.
up, everybody?
It's us again, surprise. Who would have thought it? Not us.
Hot news breakfast. Welcome, you are and I. Let's go.
We covered all the bases right there.
Today's Tuesday, July 18th, 2023, and this is what is happening. What's that smell?
I don't know.
It's what Corsair's cooking, because they bought Drop, and now they're cooking keyboard stuff, probably.
This has me both excited and worried for multiple reasons. Number one, I'm excited that this might finally be the easiest way for me to get Drop products in South Africa.
They're gonna expand that shipping.
Yeah, with Corsair's worldwide sales and shipping logistics, this might be a way for Drop to expand the business worldwide, but this comes with a caveat. Corsair currently owns Scuff Gaming, Elgato. They have a whole list of brands under their now ever-growing brand label.
Yeah, what if Disney bought out some tiny indie developer? Would you be worried?
I would be worried.
Maybe a little excited? Who knows? I'm waiting for custom Stream Decks.
This actually gives Corsair the opportunity to announce little one-off projects, say in partnership with one of the other brands like Scuff or Elgato, where we can get it through Drop as a limited one-off product. So we'll have to see how this plays out. Are you guys excited for this? I personally am on the fence. Who knows which way it'll go?
But we know which way our video sponsor is gonna go, isn't that right, Reece?
Oh yeah, Jawa, the marketplace by gamers for gamers, where you can sell your stuff to them or pick up a computer or components directly from other users. So if you're looking for a way to sell your graphics card hassle-free, then check out Jawa's GPU buying program where you can sell directly to them. It's as simple as selecting your model, choosing the condition, and they'll give you an instant offer which you can then choose to accept. Getting paid by Jawa is a breeze versus having to navigate your local classifieds in order to get that extra money that you could be putting towards your next build. So once again, check out Jawa at the link in the video description down below, where you can browse builds, sell your GPU, and have a good time all around. And once again, big thanks to Jawa for sponsoring today's video.
Your next iPhone is gonna be a little different, probably, maybe.
Oh no, definitely.
A new regulation from the EU is saying that by 2027, all handhelds are gonna have to have easily accessible and removable batteries.
And that doesn't just mean phones. According to an unnamed source from the European Union, who confirmed the batteries of gaming handhelds are covered by the batteries and waste batteries regulation. The article proposes that future battery requirements will not affect current generation products.
I am 100% for this, and I don't think that's a hot take at all.
I think this is a great move for handhelds in particular. I'm not so sure how I feel about it on phones, considering we might lose access to things like really good waterproofing, and also foldable phones seem a little bit trickier to do. So whenever we get a Steam Deck 2 or a Switch 2 or something, who knows? Nintendo might be fixing something in the lab at the moment in a panic.
Oh, they're scared. They don't want you opening that thing up.
I don't want me opening that thing up.
But what you do want to open up is this ROM hack for the Super Game Boy.
Oh snap, a throwback.
You remember the Super Game Boy thing? That thing that you put into your Super Nintendo and let you play Game Boy games?
Great stuff.
Well, did you know that there was a second version of that? Because I didn't. Because the first one ran at a slightly higher clock speed than the Game Boy was meant to be running on, so all your games were slightly too fast. It was about 2.4% faster. But the Super Game Boy 2 actually had the correct clock speed, so you could use a transfer cable with another Game Boy, and things were actually running properly. But this custom ROM hack for World Heroes 2 lets you further overclock your Super Game Boy, which basically enables turbo mode, so you're running your device at 5.35 megahertz.
That's more than 5.34 megahertz.
That's at least 0.01 more than that, Reece. So you play the game how I like to play old Pokemon games, at double speed.
It was the only way.
With reckless abandon.
Had to be done.
And you don't even have to bump the button with your little toesy while you're fiddling around in your little socks while you're playing some World of Warcraft. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what he's talking about.
You know what Reece definitely knows how to talk about? Deals! Get over here.
All right, welcome back to UFD Deals, everyone. Bringing the hottest tech deals out on the internet. Starting off today with the Neo Forza Fade DDR4 kit. This 32 gig kit is running at 4,000 megahertz at CL19 and it's going for only $55.49, making it $54.50 off. We like a good deal.
Lacquer brew.
Lacquer brew. And then at $101, we have the greatest entry into the high-speed refresh rate monitor game with this Corsair 24-inch 1080p 165Hz gaming monitor.
That's like more than 160 hertz.
At its current discount, it's sitting at $38.99 off, which makes it one heck of a good deal and a great entryway. And speaking of great deals, we have the Fractal Design Pop XL. This silent black case is completely audio dampened and it's going for only $59.99, making it $40 off, which there's been a lot of good deals on Fractal cases. You can check out the previous ones we have listed on the website, which will be down in the video description below. But until next time, I'm gonna hand you off back to Kyla for the rest of your hot news. Cheers.
pop.
And with all that money you guys are saving on those deals, you could pick up potentially an iPhone.
Really? You think we'll save that much?
Yeah.
How much did you spend on your first iPhone?
Honestly, too much. Which is nothing because I got it for free.
Was it $190,000?
Close.
Back in February of this year, we saw a really silly little thing happen, and that was the most expensive original iPhone was ever sold.
And it wasn't sold to MKBHD this time for a YouTube video.
Go back to bed. $63,000 in February. That's what it sold for. It was just an iPhone. It's not even, it's in a sealed box. They're not gonna open it.
That's so dumb.
It's silly. Rich people be doing silly things. But after that, you'd think, oh, this is like a new collectible thing. This is what the rich people want now.
It's not Pokemon cards anymore.
But it's also not iPhones anymore because apparently in April that price dropped by $45,000. The next iPhone sold for $18,000, which is a lot still, right? But it's not $63,000. But that price seemed to have been trending downward
until someone decided to flex on everyone.
For whatever reason, the bidding for this one started at $10,000 and it went up on June 30th. It ended on July 15th, and up until the day before it actually sold, the bid was a little under $42,000.
Still too much.
And this $190,373 price tag is about 300% more than what it sold for in February, which again was the previous record. And if you want to compare it to the original price of the 4 gig model, that's roughly a 380 times increase in the past 16 years.
I'm gonna have to bid on one of these next because I didn't get the chance to get one when they were new.
That's a good call, Reece. Good use of your money. What's funny too is that in this same lot, there was another 8 gigabyte model, which you'd think, oh, double memory, double price, right? It sold for $44,000.
Pathetic.
Patooey.
Do it again.
Reece, what mobile carrier do you have?
I'm currently on Mint.
Wrong.
What did I do?
Actually, I think Mint uses this. T-Mobile's the best one.
Apparently.
Officially.
Allegedly.
Ookla published its Q1 2023 report of all of the cellular data providers in America, and it turns out T-Mobile is just a winner in literally every category. It's not even
so
a contest.
hard.
Yes. Yeah, the median download speed of T-Mobile is literally over 2 times as fast as either AT&T or Verizon. And it's making me feel a little insecure right now because I have AT&T.
T-Mobile's coming in at a whopping 164.76 megabits per second, with Verizon trailing at 72.61 and AT&T all the way down at 66.16. Upload speeds are chilling around 12.16 megabits per second on T-Mobile, with Verizon at 9.11 and AT&T at 7.35.
That's a 2, Reece, but I'll forgive you. And for 5G median download speeds, whoa, Reece, you seen
look at that.
T-Mobile's got 220 megabits per second, while Verizon is down at 133.50 megabits per second, and AT&T is the whole way down.
That's sad right there.
86.01 megabits per second. Disgusting.
I want to know what carrier are you guys currently on, and will stats like this sway you over to, say, T-Mobile for future?
It won't sway me, but I now know that I suck.
We have the data. And we also have the data on how long your Intel Mac is gonna last.
In the recent past, people have been accumulating data points on how long certain Mac versions have been being supported.
So the average Mac receives about 6.6 years of macOS updates and new features getting added, plus another 2 years of security-only updates. The 2017 crop of Intel Macs will only get about 6.3 years of macOS updates, which is a little under the historical average. The 3 longest-lived Macs are still the mid-2007 15 and 17-inch MacBook Pros, the mid-2010 Mac Pro, and the mid-2007 iMac, which received new macOS updates for around 9 years after they were introduced.
And this poor guy, the shortest lived Mac was the 2008 version of the white MacBook. You remember that guy?
I had that guy. It hurt me.
2.7 years of macOS updates, 3.3 years of security updates, which, what does that even mean? What's a security update? I just leave my door unlocked.
It's good data to know if you're looking to keep your Intel Mac a little bit longer. Who knows when you're gonna stop getting updates for that, but keeping track of stuff like that is good stuff.
Yeah, and it's ideal to note that if your support for these things does get just cut off, keep in mind that Intel is dropping support for these chips entirely. The 7th generation Intel Core processors are losing it. You're done. You won't get no more updates. And hopefully Amazon will be done doing this soon because it's really creepy.
It's kind of scummy.
You remember whenever Amazon put all those cameras that stare directly into the souls of their delivery drivers all day, every day?
Tracks them with some little AI.
Yeah, and they're like, nobody's actually watching those. There's no way any of that's ever gonna get put out onto the internet or anything.
Well, it has.
I'm not surprised, are you?
No, not the slightest.
So basically, on the Amazon delivery service provider subreddit, there's been a bunch of these videos being shared, and some of them have like, it's a little creepy how it's being
little weird.
showcased.
A lot of weird.
Like this video here, where it's like under the guise of it being wholesome, it's an Amazon employee who's like talking to a customer, and a little puppy hops up into her lap, and it's cute, and oh wow, this made my day, the person behind the desk is saying. But it seems like this is happening in real time. They're just chilling, they're just watching this
cuteness
worker.
aside, when you start thinking about it, it gets a little creepy very fast.
Little dystopian. One of the comments on here said that there's a reason why UPS just negotiated the driver-facing cameras out. It's creepy.
It's creepy.
This isn't an isolated incident. This is happening a decent amount of time. There's another video here shared on Reddit with the forward-facing dash cam, and it kind of shows you how creepy this surveillance software really is, where like it misread what happened here, and it gave the driver a stop sign infraction. It tracks your speed. It like shows you a little green box around the person who's driving. It's tracking you with AI. It's tracking the cars around you.
Not having a good time.
I don't like it.
Previously, a spokesperson had said, "Don't believe the self-interested critics who claim these cameras are intended for anything other than safety." There's a little bit of not so nice privacy stuff happening right here, which...
I don't know, do you care? Do you care if somebody's staring at you while you're working? Is it an invasion of privacy?
Kind of feels like the same thing as having your webcam on 24/7, so like your boss can see you working.
Yeah, do you use a webcam cover? Is your privacy valuable? Yes or no? Better not be if you work for Amazon.
But what I want to know is your PC ready for Baldur's Gate 3?
Guys, turns out if you're trying to play Baldur's Gate 3 on a PC that you played Baldur's Gate 1 on, likely the game's gonna do to your computer what that bear did to that dude in the trailer. The original game came out in 1998. You know when the second one came out?
2000.
2 years after that.
We've been waiting a while.
23 years. I wasn't even born in 2000.
This guy.
The minimum requirements for Baldur's Gate 3 are very modest, actually. A GTX 970 or an RX 480 with either an i5 4690 or an AMD FX 8350 with only 8 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
That's great.
They're taking minimum to the minimum right there.
Yeah, 150 gigabytes SSD space.
Yeah, specific additional notes, SSD required. That's for the 174 hours worth of cinematics that they've included in this game, including the bare sex.
Ratchet.
And thankfully the recommended specs aren't hitting too far into the expensive side as well, with the recommended graphics card being an Nvidia 2060 Super or RX 5700 XT, roughly 8 gigs of VRAM.
You're gonna want either an Intel i7 8700K or a Ryzen 5 3600, very middle of the road. Some might even call this low end at this point. But you know what'll definitely play Baldur's Gate 3? The Radeon RX 7800, because apparently that thing is beating out the 4070, potentially lower price point. Reportedly, the 7800 is gonna be using about 260 watts of power compared to the 4070's peak of 230, but the average being at around 200. So the 4070 is going for about $599, but the 7800 is being speculated at maybe a $579 price tag, because that's where the 6800 started out.
The RX 7800's Time Spy score is sitting at 18,957, which is above the average 17,853 of the RTX 4070 and well above the RX 6800. So that makes it slower than the previous 6800 XT and faster than the current 6800, which puts it at a nice little generational jump. With the peak power draw dropping significantly, the 7800's peak power draw of 260 watts is barely anything compared to the 6800, which was drawing 378 watts.
You guys like efficiency?
I like efficiency because I need it in SA. In these leaks, the RX 7700 was also pictured, and like always, take these scores with a grain of salt. The 7700 came in at 15,464, which puts it above the 4060 Ti, but below the 4070. We'll see price-wise where AMD tries to position that when that also eventually does come out.
$2. So you know, if AMD can potentially end Nvidia's reign of terror, then we can end this episode of Hot News. Because it's over.
And it's
Bye.